Ooh, they're like little cheesecakes. I'm joking.
Hey everyone, Dave here, back in the AI kitchen, and today we're going to be making 3 low-carb desserts that are actually good, well, at least according to AI. As always, I asked AI to come up with some recipes for us, and it did, and we're going to try them and see if they're awesome. They should all be very easy because one of my prerequisites for ChatGPT is that they take less than 15 minutes each to make, so hopefully this will be nice and quick and simple. So I'm just going to go down the list they gave me. First one is called a Cottage Cheese Berry Delight. Sounds delightful. As someone who's never really liked cottage cheese but does like it in baking, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this one, but maybe, who knows. You need 1 cup of cottage cheese as your first ingredient. It doesn't specify if it's supposed to be like whole milk, half milk, or 2% milk, skim milk, I don't know. Whatever the options are. It doesn't give me a curd size either, but yeah, take your 1 cup of cottage cheese and put it in a bowl. This is like a quick, simple dessert option. You want something sweet, but don't want a bunch of carbs. I will say this is the easiest recipe because I did something I don't normally do and I read through it. I try not to do that because I like how much it triggers people. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract goes in next, which might make it taste good, I don't know. But I read through because I was like a little nervous about doing 3 different recipes in one video. And I was like, how hard are these? And this one made me like, this one sold me on the idea because it looked very, very easy. I was like, all right, well that one I can do in like 5 minutes. It's a 5-minute dessert. Then we want to add a low-carb sweetener. I have this Truvia stuff, but you can use stevia or xylitol or any of those. Which it says to taste. It doesn't tell me how much of it. I don't know. Let's do like 1/3 of a tablespoon. How about that? Might be too much. Or too little, I don't know. Mix that in with the vanilla and the cottage cheese. Then you're supposed to add some mixed berries. I got blackberries and strawberries because when I Googled it, it said these were the lowest in carbs when it comes to fruit. I rinsed off these blackberries and I'm gonna throw those in there. 4 of them, beautiful. And then a couple strawberries. Let me go rinse off a couple strawberries. This does seem like a healthy breakfast. All right, then I'm gonna slice up some strawberries. Again, one of the lowest carb fruits as far as I can tell. And if you're watching this saying, oh Dave, this is all way too easy, I don't need to watch a video on how to do this, I kind of am with you. This one's too easy, but the next 2 get progressively more complicated and difficult and crazier delicious. This one is like, I feel like a lot of you just eat this for lunch, right? I mean, a lot of people do that. Add some strawberries in there. Sounds kind of good to me. That's probably enough. Then it says to sprinkle 1 tablespoon of unsweetened coconut flakes on top and some chia seeds. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. I don't have chia seeds, but if you like them, you could add those now too. Boom, there you go. All right, so that's the Cottage Cheese Berry Delight, the first dessert, literally just that. It says you can chill it for 30 minutes or you can eat it immediately. I guess I should try it now because the other ones have like fridge time too. As someone who doesn't like cottage cheese, there's a very low chance of me enjoying this. You know, it's actually pretty good. I don't hate it at all. It needs more stevia, for sure. But it's got enough stevia that it doesn't taste like cottage cheese to me, which again, I'm not a huge fan of cottage cheese. If you're a huge fan of cottage cheese, this is probably a great dessert for you. For me, it's good. It reminds me of overnight oats, if you've ever had those. This tastes very similar to when I have my overnight oats, but that is because I put shredded coconut, I put fruit in that, and I have the oatmeal, which kind of is the texture of the cottage cheese. So this is like a fast overnight oats. It's called the Cottage Cheese Berry Delight, and we're gonna move on to the next one, which is even better. All right, so I went and got some stuff for the second recipe. I'll tell you all like the macros at the end here for each of the 3 desserts. You know, this reminds me, the cottage cheese berry thing we just did reminds me of like just Greek yogurt with fruit, but this is probably lower carb than Greek yogurt, although I don't actually know. 5 carbs in half a cup. Let me look at Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is 6 carbs in 3/4 of a cup, so it's like the same. So I don't know, you could do yogurt instead, I guess. That's the first one's kind of a dud. The second one sounds cooler. You take a cup, I'm using the same one, guys. The same dirty one I had before, because this was like 3 minutes later. So why not use the same one? A cup of cottage cheese again. I guess these are all cottage cheese based. So you have some cottage cheese in the house, you just made the cottage cheese cloud bread stuff, and you're like, oh, what else can I make with my cottage cheese? Well, see, I'm giving you options for dessert. That looks slightly different. Is this a smaller curd? I think that's a smaller curd. This is small curd. This is small curd. How come they look so different? And what's a curd anyways? Like literally, what is that? All right, so you take your cup and you put it in a blender. You know me, guys. I'm gonna use my little Ninja Chopper thingy because I love it. 1 cup of cottage cheese in there. Oh, by the way, I asked ChatGPT to stop making me guess with the sweetener and just tell me how much to put. It said in that first recipe I was supposed to put 1 to 2 tablespoons. The problem I have is this specific sweetener is kind of, oh, it's erythritol? It says it has carbs, but it's erythritol. Keto professionals tell me, is this stuff no good? Truvia, stevia leaf? Maybe I bought the wrong kind of stuff. Maybe you need to get like full-on erythritol, because this might have carbs. So, you know, adjust this and use the sweetener that has the lowest carbs, because I don't know which one that is. I'm not a pro, but if it's not this one, I'm sorry. I'm trying. So it says add the sweetener, and I asked again how much. It said a tablespoon. So that's a lot if there's really 3 carbs, but I don't know if there really is, because it's 3 erythritol, and erythritol might not be real carbs. I don't know how that works. This might just be a low calorie thing, guys. I might be failing. You get the idea. Use a low carb sweetener. I think full-on erythritol has no carbs, but I don't know. Okay, I looked it up. Truvia calorie-free sweetener is keto-friendly. The carbs listed on the label come from erythritol, which passes through the body without being broken down for energy. So those carbs don't count. They're free carbs. How cool is that? So I mean, like, even though they're carbs, the net is 0 based on what Google's telling me. All right, anyways, moving on. 1 to 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, and I'm just gonna dump it right over there because that's the smartest way, just kidding. 1 and 2. Then 2 tablespoons of the cocoa powder. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I am the kid who grew up having dessert every night. And it wasn't like my mom would make dessert, but there was just always something sweet in the house. Oops, that was embarrassing. Always something sweet in the house, and I would always have something sweet after dinner. And while that's not a good, ooh, that smells cocoa-y. While that's not a good habit to have, it's a habit I have. And I'll find myself at Publix, we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, unsweetened, while I spill some heavy cream on my hand. Now, more often than not, I'll find myself over at Publix at 9 p.m. looking for a dessert. And one of my go-tos is chocolate mousse, anything chocolate mousse. I love chocolate mousse. All right, we then want to add, I mean, you could eat, but it might not taste good. Add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. A lot of these same ingredients in this, so I didn't actually put them all away because I knew I'd need them again. So you got vanilla, you got the sweetener, you got the cocoa powder, and then you just mix it up with the little ninja guy. I'm gonna get a little spatula thingy. But yeah, this dessert seems more up my alley. Like, I think it's very rare I'd make that cottage cheese berry delight, although I know a lot of people like that one. And much more frequently, oops, you'll find me make this. Now, okay, so here's a question. What do you prefer, cottage cheese or Greek yogurt? Because I feel like you could do that other one with either thing. Although tell me, any keto professionals watching, if there's a reason not to use Greek yogurt. Oh, someone asked me in the comments, Dave, how do you clean the top of your lid? It gets all messy with food. That's because I'm using it wrong. This thing comes with like a lid for that part that you're supposed to put in between. I'm a slacker, so I just put this in the sink and I wash it while it's unplugged and try not to get the electronics dirty. Not the best way to do it. The wrong way to do it, actually. Specifically incorrect. But they say I'm a rebel without a cause, so I'll keep doing it my way. That's it for the second dessert, pretty much. You wanna put it into some glasses and chill it for 30 minutes. Just be like, yo, chill. Get some of that off of there. And then it says you can put some low-carb chocolate chip shavings, or chocolate shavings on the top, which I do have some Lily's chocolate chips I could add. That might make it a little, I probably will add those. Put them in like a little dish or 2. You know, we're making dessert for 2. All right, so fill up your 2 cups with the dessert, and then it goes into the fridge for 30 minutes. Like I said, you can add some chocolate shavings or, you know, low-carb chocolate chips to add some texture to it, or I'll just add way too many like me. And then you've got your little keto dessert in 30 minutes. Do you have to cover it? No, you don't have to cover it. So just pop it in the fridge for 30. We'll be back to try that. We'll start working on the next one, which is called lemon cottage cheese cheesecake bites. Which sounds really awesome too. Should we go through some of the net carbs? I can tell you the net carbs on the first one. Hold on. Okay, so let's talk about macros. I just had an argument with ChatGPT to make sure it got the math right on these first 2. I don't know the third one yet, but on the first 2 we've made, we're gonna make the cheesecake little bar thingies in a minute. Those are gonna be the best one. I'm really excited about them. But for the first thing, it's kind of high carb. Both of these are kind of high carb, sort of, kind of. So I feel like ChatGPT could have done a better job with the carb count on these, but they're not so bad that they totally ruin your keto day. Technically, you're supposed to eat like 50 or less net carbs a day. The Berry Delight was 17 net carbs, but that's for the whole thing. It's pretty big. So if you eat half of it, you know, you do the math, 17 divided by 2, way beyond my pay grade, that math, but it's something like 20 billion. I don't know. No, it's like 7, 8 carbs, 9 carbs, 9 carbs. 9 plus 9 is 18. A little less than 9 carbs if you eat half of it, which would probably be enough for me. And then this I put into 2 cups because I felt like it was 2 desserts. So the chocolate mousse technically is 21 net carbs for all of it, but again, you slice it in half and it's 10 and 10, a little 10 carb dessert. If you're having 50 carbs a day and you were good all day, you could totally treat yourself to that. Also, all of that chocolate mousse thing was 340 calories. So if you ate both of them, it's 340 calories. And if you eat the whole bowl with the cottage cheese and the fruit, that is 300 calories. So pretty low calorie desserts too. All right, let's move on to the last one, which I'm most excited about. It makes a yield of 6 and each one is only 4 net carbs. So this might be the best option for you if you're trying to go super low carb. Just make these and have one as a little sweet treat after your dinner each night over the next week. And then you have 4 net carb dessert just waiting for you in the fridge. So let's work on that one. It's the most complicated, but I think it's gonna be worth the payoff. I don't know though, we'll see. All right, let's get a little mini payoff because it's been 30 minutes and I want to try this before we move on to the next one. Hey, it does kind of look like, hold on, let me get it in the camera. It does kind of look like a chocolate mousse. It tastes like chocolate mousse too. Look at that, guys. Got a little chocolate mousse. I could definitely rock that as a dessert. It's a lot too. That's half of the yield, and I think we said that this is 10 carbs if I eat it all. It's not that bad. It's a dessert you could do every now and then, maybe not every day. My wife says, I asked her. She said not every day, but every couple of days you could have a 10 carb dessert.
Once a week.
She said once a week. Whatever, treat yourself once a week to this one. I don't want to consume all the carbs right now. I mean, I will say this, that was very good. But if I had put a little more of that fake sugar in it, it would be even better. So, you know, figure that out as you make it. Maybe you want to put 1.5 tablespoons. I did 1 tablespoon. Very good. I could go sweeter, but I like really sweet desserts. Not everyone does. Let's go to the third one. The third one I'm most excited about. All right, so we're gonna make lemon cottage cheese cheesecake bars, which I know all types of cheesecake bars are gonna be delicious. All right, so we have to make a crust first. We're gonna use almond flour, 1/4 cup of almond flour. Put that in a bowl. This is gonna be our crust, like that. And then 2 tablespoons of melted butter, like a normal crust. I again keep getting these comments to say, stop talking so much, just cook it. I feel like if you're still watching this deep into the video, you're not one of those people. Microwave's going, and I totally understand that. There's a lot of people that love short, super quick hit recipes where it's like this, add this ingredient, boom, recipe. I don't learn that way. I struggle when I watch those videos to actually remake those recipes. So I make these videos in a way that I would want to watch them. And I just hope there's other people out there that want to just see a normal guy cooking at a normal guy's pace. And I want you to watch it and feel like, hey, I could do this. And I think that, you know, explaining the steps in a little more detail, making the mistakes kind of shows you a realistic view of what might happen when you actually get to the kitchen. Unlike these fancy people who must have 7,000 perfectly cleaned dishes. They never run out of perfect dishes to put their ingredients in. Add the butter in with the almond flour. I mean, come on, you know, you've seen those videos where there's like 17 little clear cups and each one has the perfectly measured salt and sweetener and everything else. All the power to them. Like, those are great videos. I enjoy them, but it's not how I learn. We're gonna add a pinch of the sweetener into the crust so the crust is kind of sweet, and then mix that up. That's gonna be our little crust forming with the butter and the flour and the sweetener. It doesn't look like very much, but that's what it calls for. I don't know, we'll see what happens. And look, I did find an excuse to buy a new toy. These are like silicone muffin cups. I've never had these before, pretty cool. I got them on Walmart. I'll put a link in the video somewhere. So do I need to like spray these since they're silicone or no? I don't think I need to. I think it'll just pop out. All right, so now we gotta like put that mixture into 6 muffin cups. I'm supposed to get 6 out of this. 1, not very much. 2, maybe a little more. 3. This is supposed to be just a really thin crust on the bottom. 4, 5, and 6. And then I need like a better, I'm gonna use my spatula here. I think I can like double everything that I just did just by using the spatula to get off the bottom bits. So I'm supposed to press this into the bottom. I don't know if I'm supposed to use like my finger, but I'm basically just going to spread it on the bottom so that it's fully covered with each of these little muffin cups. Can you see that? Can you see it? Yeah, it's like a little blown out, little overexposed maybe, but I'm not a professional. I'm just doing my best. All right, so I spread out the little crust on the bottom of all 6. Can you see it? You can see it. That's cool. Set that aside. We're now gonna make our filling and we're gonna bring back our little Ninja Chopper thingy. I love my Ninja Chop. They should really get me on the sponsorship or something. You reach out to me, Ninja Chop. I talk about your stuff all the time. All right, so of course, these are all cottage cheese recipes. We need to get another cup of cottage cheese. I don't know what happened to that other, I do have a lot of measuring cups. Speaking of a lot of a dish, got tons of measuring cups. So 1 cup of cottage cheese, because I get them at yard sales. That's like the best place to get measuring cups because I lose them so often. So I try not to spend a lot on them. All right, so we got that. I just spilt my vanilla extract. It's okay, it's only like $8,000 an ounce. Stinking vanilla. Okay, we need some lemon zest, guys. Lemon zest to get a little zester. I can put a link to one of those too, guys. Always thinking of cool things I can link it to. Oh, I got cottage cheese on the finger. So zest a lemon. You want a teaspoon, so not much. Like 1 lemon worth. I like anything that's really easy to portion control, and this one's gonna be easy because it's the 6 muffin cups. You know exactly what you're getting. All right, so add in a teaspoon of lemon zest to our cottage cheese, and then take that same lemon and you wanna juice it, or squeeze it, or whatever. Do something fancy to it to make all the juices come out. And I was scared I wouldn't have enough, so I actually have some normal, like just pre-squozen lemon juice too, because it calls for a lot. It calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Okay. All right, so let's see, how much should I get with that first little bit? All right, so 1 lemon's a little over 1, and then I'm gonna supplement it with this stuff. Minor cheating happening here. There we go. I ain't fancy. They could call this not above shortcuts kitchen. 2 tablespoons of fake sweetener. What is it with lemons and little kids liking to eat them like straight up? 2 tablespoons of our fake sweetener in there. That's a lot, but you know, no carbs. No carbs, go for it, you know? We then want to add ½ a teaspoon of vanilla extract, which hopefully I still have since I just spilled some of it. Yeah, we're good. And then we're gonna blend it up with our little ninja chopper. Listen, I know you're thinking, oh, I wanna go grab that candy bar. But look, these desserts are easy. All right, I think we're good. There's our filling for our cheesecakes. Yeah, can you see it right there? Hopefully these like firm up and aren't a fail. Sometimes I make fails here. Listen, this is the way I look at it. If you have a Hershey bar, I just looked this up. It's 26 carbs in a Hershey bar, and after you eat the Hershey bar, you're still gonna be super hungry. Some of these desserts we've made, yeah, you know, 20 carbs in a giant bowl or in 2 big cups full of chocolate, but they're gonna be filling and satiating. I don't know. I'm trying to pitch these desserts as low carb, but I don't know if ChatGPT did a great job. All right, split this up 6 ways. This one I think is good, because this one is only, yeah, 4 carbs per dessert. And I would say you just have like 1 after a meal, and that'll fill you up. You know, it'll at least get your sweet tooth under control. But I don't know. It's also a great way to have some dessert if you're a cottage cheese lover. You just want more cottage cheese in your life. All right, so I'm just adding the filling. I mean, I guess I could have told you I was doing that, but it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm adding the filling on top of the crust that we made, and this is gonna be our little cheesecake bites. I'm hoping they come out all awesome, but we don't know. We don't know. You never know until it's done. It's gonna go into the freezer for 1 to 2 hours. So play a little waiting game. You're not gonna have to wait at all. We're just gonna cut away and then magically they'll be done. And I'll be trying them and I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's the best dessert ever, hopefully. All right, I'll see you guys. Wait, there's some more. Don't wanna leave any behind. I'm leaving all these good carbs behind. Try to make them even so you know how many macros you're having with each one. How many calories? 98 calories in each one as well. So 100 calorie snack with 4 net carbs, healthy vegetables. Cottage cheese a vegetable? All right, guys, we'll be back. Okay, guys, we're back in the kitchen. I'm just on my cell phone. It's several hours later. The cheesecake bites were in the freezer, and then afterwards they were basically blocks of ice, so I had to put them in the fridge. So it's really been like 5 hours since I made these, but I'm gonna try them. I don't wanna set up my camera gear again. We're just gonna try them like this. Ooh, they're like little cheesecakes. I like them. Callie, my daughter's laughing at me. I'm joking. You want to try one? Ooh, they're still pretty icy. Really good, though. I think they're going to be even better when they thaw a little more.
It's good. It's just really cold.
Really cold. Yeah, they need to thaw even more. But I can already tell they're going to have a very good cheesecakey texture. I love the lemony flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. The crust at the bottom is awesome, too. So yeah, we'll be eating those. I definitely recommend those. They were super easy to make, super good. All 3 of them were good. The mousse, I've already eaten that whole mousse, the first one. The first one, meh. But the second one and the third one are great. You should try them. Hi, Callie. Say bye.
Bye.
Tell them thanks for subscribing.
Oh, they should subscribe.
Say subscribe and click the bell. All right, bye,
No,
guys.
Potato should say that.
Yeah.